The Mi'kmaq call Prince Edward Island Abiguit, which means cradle in the waves. No place on the island fits this description better than Malpeque Bay. Its large, sheltered waters and wetlands form a safe habitat for many species. When people hear the name Malpeque, most think of one species in particular, the oyster.
The water's nice and salty, it's clean, it's pure, and it grows a nice plump oyster. The meat's good in them, and it has a name that's been there for years, called them Malpeques.
Like any other farm work, oyster aquaculture requires a lot of care, know-how, and hard work.
The little oyster that you catch, you got to put them in oyster grows, and they float on top of the water. And you have to keep turning them to get rid of the foul that's on them so they'll grow well.
These are called oyster grows. There'll be 1,200 oysters in each cage, and there's 35 cages on a line. You can see the new growth lately. That'd been the last 3 weeks probably.
The question is, how is growing oysters affecting the growth of other species in the bay? Scientists from the Department of Fisheries and Oceans are studying the impact of oyster aquaculture on the Malpeque habitat.
It's the oldest instrument to measure light through the water column. It's called a Secchi disc. Basically, you lower it down up to the point where you can't see it anymore, and then bring it slowly up, and you stop when you're starting it again, and then you measure the depth.
So you measure the depth by looking at how much of the rope is underwater at that point.
A certain amount of light is reaching the bottom.
Yeah.
So it should be okay if that light is enough for eelgrass to grow in.
The impact of oyster aquaculture is complex. For one thing, eelgrass needs light, while oyster farms cast shadows.
On s'est aperçu que les structures d'aquaculture qu'on voit ici font une ombre sur le fond, donc là où la zostère doit pousser. Et donc, en recevant moins de lumière, l'aquaculture peut causer un impact à la production de ces zostères.
On the other hand, oysters are filter feeders, meaning they clean the water. This allows greater amounts of sunlight to penetrate deeper into the water. Eelgrass needs that sunlight to photosynthesize and grow. So is oyster aquaculture harming the habitat or helping it?
On est en train d'essayer de voir si on peut quantifier d'une part l'ombrage sur les bandes austères par les structures et d'autre part l'effet de clarification de l'eau par les huîtres et essayer de comparer ces deux choses. Et à ce moment-là, il faudra trouver des solutions pour mitiger cet impact.
It's a complex relationship, and one we need to better understand so that this cradle in the waves can continue to provide for the many different species that live here, including us.